Hello, disc golf enthusiasts from around the world, and welcome back once again to MDG Media. This is the final back nine MPO chase card of the 2025 World Championships. We are here at Nokia playing the Beast. Only 9 holes separate the field from our next world champion, one of the most prestigious titles at, historically, the biggest disc golf event that has ever happened. I'm Connor Wood. With me, Mr. Elias Luukkonen.
What's up, Connor? What's up, viewers? Nice to be here once again for the last time for this year's World Championships. Biggest tournament we've ever had, and even the World Championship title getting more and more prestigious every year as more players get into the sport, more professional players are playing this as their full-time job. And as you can see, our card is doing great after the front 9. 3 under from Adam Hammes being the worst score and still with no bogeys. Apart from that, 5 under Pyry, 6 under Aaron and 7 under Niklas. Niklas being definitely the favorite on the card as far as what the crowd likes and what they're hoping to see, or who they're hoping to see the best shots from. The local sport is so strong.
And we'll see the great gallery in just a moment here on hole 10. A par 4 at 230 meters plays as significantly less. The elevated tee pad gives them a straight to hyzer shot, opening up this second leg of the fairway, bending 90 degrees left, and then funneling into this tunnel fairway with OB to the right, left, and long tunnel in the sense that it narrows in width and forces them to have a specific landing zone. Niklas will kick us off here on 10.
Going with that straight to slightly stable driver. And that's going to be a perfect position there. Slightly more left in that gap is going to open up more of a hyzer look, which doesn't have to challenge the backside trees as much. If you go very far straight, that hyzer does get a little bit scary on the second shot, as you need to push the right side of that gravel path more with hyzer and those trees. But Gossage as well in the perfect position.
Pyry has this overturn towards the big tree, but ultimately gets to the favorable side of it, crashes through the branches. And that reduction in speed may have helped him. You can go OB long here if you flip something up, particularly throwing as fast as he does. Adam has had some strange shots in previous rounds. Another really low shot here, but a very good ground play that will open up his angle. The difference those 20 or so meters make is huge in terms of his potential to birdie the hole. Without that ground play, I would say it's far less. This here, still a really long throw, but capable for him on a huge hyzer. We see it over the crowd and back in with a beautiful curl up. That tree fakes it out, gets around him.
Well done there. And going back to what you said about strange releases, I wonder if that high reach back of his contributes to some of those low releases, as the disc is first traveling downwards and then he pulls it up at the very end of the stroke. As Pyry, good touch there. Honestly, on this hole you can go spike hyzer, you can go for that flat to fading shot. Really, all you can't do on this hole is leave it too far out to the wide right side. Everything else is going to be great.
The goose is good. We go to Niklas. And such impressive poise so far. A pure and true professional here. The weight of the country on his shoulders. You mentioned, Elias, he is the favorite, at least locally, to win this tournament. And throughout Finland, a great ambassador for the sport in all ways, on and off the course. Pyry here. Good for the putt, and just some short tap-ins now for our chase card, looking to collect the star frame on 10.
Hole 10, another hole that is quite easy to birdie. 46% birdies here, but does have some potential for big numbers. We saw a lot of bogeys, multiple double bogeys even in this final day. with the 104 best players in the tournament. It was top 100 plus highs who made the final round. And that equaled out 104 players with how the players were set up at the bottom of the list. As moving on to one of the more decisive holes before the last four on this course. 131 meters, it's definitely a swinger hole. Can get a bogey very easily, but can also get a birdie quite easily here. Plays perfectly for a huge hyzer around the outside. You want to fly over the pond through the gap between the two biggest of trees. The flight that the drone is taking is not really what you're trying to do, but sometimes if you turn your disc too far out there to the right, you might even go all the way around everything on this hole. And that's not the most common or the shot you're going for, it really works out quite well most of the times.
Good looking shot for Niklas. It has the height, it has a good looking width. He just needs to stick the green. And he's done it. Incredible. Every single hole. Niklas continues to throw shot after shot, continues to execute on his game plan. We go to Gossage, has now been given the blueprint here of a good shot in these conditions. He goes higher, he goes wider, he goes more hyzer. You can do that if you have that upper end of power and spikes it in just near Niklas's shot. For that, I think the more pure spiking hyzer is the best play to reduce ground play on the green, but it's also such a demanding shot in terms of power and angle.
Pyry going for a similar line, slightly more inside, but gets quite a fortunate break. A lot of the times that actually does happen on this hole, where you think you're going left OB, but one of those guardian trees catches your disc in a fortunate way. And Adam, this is too wide out of hand. Let's see if he gets around all of the trees. And exactly what happens. As I mentioned, that does save a lot of those shots that are way too wide out of the hand. And this time he's not paying the price of an OB. Neither is anybody else on the card. Quite rare to have 0 OBs on this hole.
Pyry given a chance, a gift from that tree to still look at the birdie, does not capitalize. Adam now as well, I would say. Not his intended line, but has a reasonable chance off the cage. It's just not quite his day here. He's fallen behind his card mates now. And Niklas Anttila. He is putting together such an impressive round, Elias. Given the pressure on him, given the circumstances, the context, he knows he needs to shoot an incredibly hot round, and he is doing it. Aaron as well. Really nice consistency and execution from both of these athletes. A pleasure to watch them.
This course suits good disc golf so well. I feel like all of the shots, they look good, they look impressive. They are difficult enough where you can, even on video, you can see that most of these shots are nearly impossible for the average disc golfer. These guys making easy work of this course. That's probably going to be the theme on hole number 12, as it's still a very scoreable par 483 meters. Plays really nicely for a low ceiling forehand. You want to get above the high floor, but below the low ceiling. Really quite a tight height gap on this one. You can also optionally go for the very understable roller that doesn't challenge the height, but might be trickier with the right to left slope. Then on the approach, hopefully land a little bit right of the basket, because left is the biggest danger you're gonna find as far as putting difficulty. It's almost impossible to make a putt from that left side of the circle.
Niklas, a player who is comfortable shaping the backhand roller, but has such an accurate forehand as well. I mean, look at that, Elias. He makes the height gap look so big somehow. It's a perfect looking forehand. It's not the biggest, longest shot you'll ever see, but everything about that was just perfect.
While Niklas not smiling on the face, probably smiling inside and also smiling on the disc. As Aaron Gossage going for just a fairway driver. An interesting play, more of a control shot. Some might say that it's better to throw a faster disc with a low ceiling to keep the height better. But he threw it obviously perfect with that slower one.
Pyry skips so high, he slapped back down by the branches, but that execution on his shot also very nice. Hits the gap, moves right. And I don't hate the fairway here, Elias. It controls the stability. It's only 183 meters. It feels like so much more because there's low ceiling the entire way. You have to throw quite hard shots, but I think the fairway can play nicely. As we blast off to the upshots here. Pyry up first. Comes up a little bit shy. That's a very common result when they are battling this low ceiling. You can't push the branches, so an outcome that we see often is getting it just a little bit low and short. That's what happens when you push the branches. I guess you can.
Yeah, pretty good result with a very high release. I'm sure he wasn't trying to go that high. And Niklas, usually a good player to keep the height as he likes. This is looking nice. The right side of the basket is good. And there you go. 6 meters left for the birdie. On the video it might look like he pulled it out there to the right, but it's actually the preferred play, even to just slam it into the hillside on the right.
Solid upshot for Aaron as well, ending to the right. Elias, a question for you. Do you think that a shorter player has an advantage on a hole like this with a low ceiling throughout the entire way because they naturally have a lower release point?
Wow, interesting question. I haven't thought about that very much, but I think definitely with the backhand it makes sense, as your backhand release is usually near the chest. As Pyry, big putt. I think with the forehand it probably doesn't really matter, as your forehand release is quite low even if you're super tall. Yeah, that's a good point. Niklas being a shorter player than the rest on the card. So possibly that. Also with his, unmatched disc golf accuracy is probably a helpful factor on a low ceiling hole like this.
And he proceeds, Elias, to 10 under through 12 holes. Absolutely incredible. Gossage only one behind him at 9 under through 12 holes. Adam and Pyry, they're not playing bad rounds, but now if you look at the score discrepancy between the chase card, the upper end of the field has well and truly separated themselves going into the back nine.
Hey, aren't you Anthony Barella?
Yes, sir. Try out this Venom.
Thanks, man.
Man, this is the best disc ever. It goes 1,000 feet
Hey,
easily.
hurry up, man. You're taking forever.
Sorry, man. No 30-second rule here. What about that 100% off player discount?
We move on. Hole 13. Very beautiful and aesthetic hole. You have a very similar shot off the tee to the previous hole in the sense you have a width to hit as well as a fairly narrow gap in height. You have to get under the branches, over the hill, and any sort of shot which breaks you out into this open field will position you very well for a birdie approach. You ideally then have to pick your entrance into this green, left, right, or even potentially in between this beautiful and stunning guardian tree. One of my favorite trees on the entire course here. Does its job so well, but is still very fair. You then have a soft drop off right behind the pin, but this hole, I feel like if you just get your tee shot into an open spot, it's such an easy birdie. This first one is really the most critical of the shots on 13.
I definitely agree with your tree point, and I'd say the first branch of this tee, you can see the branch on the right, that also qualifies as one of the most hard-working trees on this course, really shaping this shot to be very low. And a shot like Niklas is a common result. A good shot, but not quite long enough where the approach becomes easy.
That is smoked through the gap. Aaron will be able to pick his entrance, backhand or forehand hyzer, into the green as he chooses. We go to Pyry. Has shown to have a nice, snappy, low-release forehand. And despite having little to no turn, he's so fast out of the hand, he punches through the gap, ends to the right. Super solid shot as well.
Yeah, I keep being impressed with how fast his forehand comes out of the hand. I feel like we saw the same on hole number 2, where his shot looked too much hyzer out of the hand. He just pushed so far that he got all the way to the basket. And Adam,
Wow.
beautiful flip up. I mean, we have some great forehand throwers on this card, and you really don't become a player like this. You don't come to the chase card of the World Championships without having a great forehand.
Particularly not on this course. Niklas, however, shaping the backhand now to the green, curls up just shy of the circle. That is the punishment for less distance on the tee shot. Those red-leaved trees early left pinch your angle. I think that's a pretty good result considering where he was. And it's a putt that we know is within his arsenal. Goose opting for the backhand. Most traditional entrance into the green. Comes in a little hot, plays with the slope, but curls up in circle 2. That's about 11 or 12 meters. And I kind of like putting back uphill towards this basket. If you have a longer putt, I'd much rather take Aaron's than Niklas's, for example.
Pyry trying to have nice touch here. Short, but curls through the crotch of the tree, if we can say that. Pretty fortunate result. I mean, being short of that gap in the tree does set up for some beautiful Instagram videos. It might not be ideal for a score, as we have a lot of longer putts here. Gossage to start off. Important putt. Wants to put some pressure on Niklas, and there you go.
Wow. What a putt from Gossage. A critical moment. Pressure now, as you said, on Niklas to deliver, also from circle 2. But it's too easy for Anttila. Both of them securing birdies from C2, and look, stone cold game face for Niklas. He knows there's still work yet to be done. At this point in the scores, lead card is about 2 holes behind these guys. And he is tied or even solo second with that putt made. Gossage also vying for the top 3.
Good one from Pyry, good one from Adam. Everybody putting well on this hole. You mentioned about the scores. Niklas and Aaron, both of them should still be going for that 44 under par, which is very manageable. They have enough holes left where Niklas can even miss one of the remaining 5 holes. Birdie the rest, get to 44 under, put huge pressure on the lead card. As moving on to a hole that is the last easy-ish hole on this course. Last 4 after this are going to be much more difficult, but this one plays as a touchy yet very doable flex shot. Usually you can see people going for a driver here, fairway driver, sometimes even something slightly faster. But the most important thing, hit the height correct. Second most important thing, hit the angle correct.
Amazing angle control and right at the pin. Everything about that shot perfect. He's just not slowing down, Elias. He is well and truly making a push to be your 2025 world champion. We go now to Aaron. I always find it very interesting when a player throws such a good shot first on the box. I mentioned it earlier, the blueprint for the birdie is right there. You've seen the line executed, you just have to do the same. Aaron gets caught up on the left side, and it looked like an unfavorable kick down left into the valley. Pyry now.
Really like Pyry's release for this hole, and that's gonna hit. Another one of those things on the edge of the branch. He had a great height, just the line was missing a little bit, and Adam, perfect out of the hand. There's nothing that can happen to this shot besides being 5 meters away, and there you go. Great spin on the disc. And it's gonna be mentally difficult playing this hole. You know that the most difficult holes of the course are coming up. You'd really like to birdie this one, and a disappointing tee shot like this can easily leave you with an approach that still requires some work.
The putt, a little bit of work left to do as well. Elias Pyry does have a great composure for a guy who doesn't play that many tournaments. I don't know how many majors he's played either. This is a very big stage, possibly the biggest tournament he's ever played, but he seems very comfortable. And as I mentioned his comfort, he does not find a comfortable putt there, coming back for the same distance now for the bogey.
That's a solid stroke. Really the first real mistake that we have seen from him. Scorecard was perfectly clean. Only birdies and pars so far. And he's still in a good score. I mean, 7 under through the round. That's... If you would offer Pyry, or really any player, a 7 under score through 14, unless their name is Niklas Anttila, they might be pretty happy with it.
We now begin a dangerous stretch of holes leading to the final 18. We start here on 15 back in the main section of the park. This par 3 is 145 meters downhill and presents 2 possible options for players: to lay up in the initial landing zone, cross and play for par, or to take the risk of trying to cross to the island green in 1. The most common way to do so is to push this tree line on the right near the white and green trees and fade before them. Sometimes you even see players fade through them. It is a shot where you have a very small margin of error. You need to flip it up, you need to hit the gap, and you need to fade perfectly in time. With the eyes of almost 10,000 people on them, this is a shot which is make or break with 4 holes left.
Niklas with that straight fairway driver. A really good shot for this hole is this Niklas's release. And he's gonna hit the tree, he's gonna be short. And that's almost a guaranteed bogey. Niklas's hot run of 12 under through 14 is gonna turn to a much more mellow 11 under 15, most likely.
Adam opts for the layup. He knows he doesn't need to take too much risk. There's a lot of money, a lot of Disc Golf Pro Tour points, a lot of things involved beyond the top 3 positions that everyone is hunting. Gossage going for the green. And such a similar shot to Niklas's, but gets the favorable break out the back. That is just a tiny difference between those 2 shots. Aaron is in the circle for birdie. Niklas is outside the circle for par and likely a bogey in the end. Pyry looking to bounce back after the bogey. He just seems unfazed, Elias. I would guess he has other athletic experience that he can draw on how to perform in the moment.
Yeah, I agree, and potentially the fact that he doesn't play so many tournaments can even help him. He doesn't have that built-up stress of having bad performances or good performances, as Niklas going for the par. Not gonna be good. Little work left for the bogey there.
Would have been quite miraculous, and I'd like to see him go for that. We saw one Ricky Wysocki right behind Niklas watching that putt. We go to Pyry. Oh, for the birdie, it hangs on. Back to 8 under. The bounce back officially on the scorecard as well. Neutralizes the damage. Niklas, super important to maintain his chance that is for a bogey. And Gossage meets him right there at 40 under with that birdie putt. Elias, these centimeters are making such a difference here at the World Championships. That shot being inbounds for Gossage, out of bounds for Niklas. It's a tight game.
Hey guys, quick pause. A lot of people are involved in this project. Our goal is to grow the sport and share it with as many people as possible. So if you want to support us, subscribe to the channel, like and comment the videos if you like them, and hit the bell so you don't miss anything. It seems small, but it really helps us keep creating free content on YouTube. Enjoy the video.
Players are continuing to the most devastating hole on the tournament, potentially. Hole number 16, 222 meters. You're trying to bite off about 120 with a big hyzer off the tee. Put yourself somewhere over the gravel path. From there you have a huge decision. And the decision at this point in the tournament is not really whether you want to go for the green or not. It's more about how you want to do it. So all of these players are comfortable with that 85-meter approach. But it's just all about executing in the moment. If you don't sit on the island, you're gonna have to take it from the short side with a penalty stroke. So this hole has huge potential for big numbers.
Aaron high and wide in the sky. And he lands out of bounds and counter skips back in bounds. That is huge ground play. Every single stroke as the holes diminish is more and more important. Pyry, picturesque hyzer there. Pretty much a perfect shot.
Yeah, both of those are going to be ideal for the second shot, making it as short as possible, being close to the left side OB. Same thing for Adam. Now only Niklas left to put it in play. Usually the first shot here is not where the difference is made. You can only set yourself up better or slightly worse by being further away. You can see Niklas definitely playing a little safer, not challenging the left side OB.
And now we come down to the most stressful shot in the entire tournament. The upshot of 16 in the final round. Adam up first, plays a high forehand spike hyzer. I really like how this looks, and for good reason. Absolutely pins it, gets a little bit of a roll to the edge, but an amazing shot, and he can let out a deep breath, a sigh of relief. The pressure now shifts to Niklas.
Huge shot here. He needs to stick the island. The height is looking great.
Wow!
Perfect shot. And just listen to the crowd.
An unreal pop for him getting the island. Aaron now looking to do the same. I also like the height and width here. The forehand much harder to skip out of bounds. Normally the backhand can sometimes find danger. The forehand, if you land inbounds, you're almost always sticking it. Gets fives from Adam, as both of them have made the island. The last of our chase guard here for a complete 4 out of 4 clean entrances on the green. Pyry Joutsen. Amazing as well. Super impressive player. Happy to have him joining us on MDG Media. Some short and stressful putts. Look how many people, how many sets of eyes are on these players. It is truly incredible. The energy in the air at this point is palpable. The dead silence into the booming roars. Truly the human experience here.
Without knowing any of the context, already from that sound, you might realize who is the crowd favorite. Who is the player that they want to see win their first World Championship title. As our lead card is getting a star frame on this hole. Incredible stuff. Hardest hole on the course with some huge potential for big numbers. Shout out to Lenni Kemppainen for throwing it in.
That was sick.
For a 2.
Big lefty hyzer, smashed it in. Pretty amazing. We go to hole 17, a hole that is difficult to birdie, commonly, or relative to the field, commonly bogeyed for one of the par 3s here. This is 140 meters downhill. OB lines left, right, and long, with a pretty significant slope right to left the entire way. The two main options are a booming forehand hyzer over the tree line on the left that crashes in to fight the slope. Alternatively, a very touchy backhand turnover, also trying to end right of the basket and let the hill filter you back to the left. There's so much distance. It's downhill 140, but I feel like it plays pretty close to that number. Obviously, it's not the case if you measured it perfectly, but it's a huge shot here, particularly for the forehand. Aaron, it's on the green. Will he stay on the green? He will not. A near perfect looking shot. Such a common result for the forehand here. We go now to Pyry, looking to shape the backhand.
Backhand much more difficult out of the 2 shots. And he pulls it out there to the right. It's easy to do here. You want the backhand to be turning slightly late in the flight so that you don't get that huge finish to the left.
Adam at a range there that will be uncomfortable to run. We'll see if he's okay with a par given his position with 2 holes to go. Every shot here is so critical for Niklas. This looks amazing. Hyzer out of the hand. Late flip up to flat. The finish back. One of the most impressive backhands you will ever see on hole 17. Wow, just pure control. Huge distance. That is unreal, Elias.
Yeah, unreal touch, unreal trust of the disc. He put it out there towards the basket with a hyzer. You just need to trust your disc and know it perfectly in order to do that. A lot of players going for the backhand are doing what Pyry did. Try to play that right side, finish at the very end, and you know, if you don't finish, that's fine. But Niklas, knowing in this moment he can't do with anything else besides a birdie. And with this putt from Gossage for par, Niklas is going to take the lead on the chase card with a short tap in for birdie.
And he has found it. To the crowd's delight, Niklas goes to hole 18. At this point in the tournament, 1 stroke behind the lead. He will need to birdie 18 to be in potential contention for either the lead or a playoff for the lead. And Aaron as well at 41, solo third. They have shot some incredibly hot rounds. We've seen amazing disc golf. Elias, bring us home.
Hole 18, the most pivotal hole on this course, as we are past 16, we're past 17. Everything is behind besides this hole. Need to put it in play of the tee. Whatever you do, if you throw a forehand hyzer, put it in play. You can throw a straight mid-range, even a straight putter. In this moment, you can't risk being OB. So whatever you do, just play it safe and then take the risk on the second shot uphill. Usually about 100 to 110 meters to go. OB is incredibly tight. So if you're trying to park the basket, you risk going to that left OB, just about 4 meters left of the basket. And really no safe way to play for the birdie here. You have to go for the basket. And this is where you see what these players are made of. Can they handle the pressure or not?
Imagine the battle they've already put through 17 holes. Niklas hangs on to the inbounds. He'll look to shortcut the corner and go for the green on his next. As I mentioned, if he's checking the scores, he knows it's a near certainty he needs to birdie. For Aaron as well, both of them only one stroke apart here. If Niklas were unable to get the birdie and rather parred, Aaron's birdie would also leave him in one of those top positions. Great shot there. We go to Pyry. And this one, similarly to the last, is simply a late release too far to the right. Does settle inbounds, but likely forced to play for par. Adam going for the forehand, out over the OB. We'll swing it back. I like the height here, just to ensure the one angle shape. And it's pretty close to the OB line, but these guys know their margins, they know their shots. We have 4 inbounds drives. Pyry's out of position, the others in position.
So Pyry trying to get around the corner, or over the corner rather. This one needs to go. That's not gonna be good. He's gonna be OB short. A huge difference between OB short and OB long here. Now this is his 4th shot trying to go for the green.
Really nice looking line and saved by the single stake. Doing some heavy lifting, keeps the disc in bounds. We go to Adam playing a forehand positional shot. He knows that he is out of play for the win. He is just trying to maintain his 32 under score with some pars and close out a top 10, maybe even top 8 position here at the World Championships. Very respectable. Niklas must put this in bounds and in putting distance if he wants to win the World Championships.
This is to the right. Going OB but bouncing off the stage. And Niklas Anttila going to be in bounds, putting for birdie from far out.
17 meters to be exact, Elias.
That is going to be a disappointing result. Even though he's inbounds, he has all the chance in the world. He would really love to be parked here. But I don't think Niklas really has a chance to do anything but run the putt. Aaron Gossage now.
Oh, look at that shot. Incredible. In the moment of need, he finds it. That will leave him a tap-in birdie to get to 42 under, potentially bringing him into the conversation for the winner of this tournament. Adam doing what he needs to do for par. Respectable play and a clean round for him. Not the hottest. Niklas has to run this. There is OB on all sides of the green. This is make or break. He's not playing for second. He's not playing for third. He's playing for the win.
And that's gonna end it. That's gonna end the historic, the legendary run of Niklas Anttila. Just look at all the green on his scorecard. Playing the round with 14 birdies. As Pyry trying to finish well, but he has also gone OB. Pretty big miss there, and that's gonna be a number on the last hole.
It's great for Pyry to get more exposure, both within Europe, but also to players and fans around the world, as a name who can play some incredible disc golf. Ultimately ending at 30 under for the tournament. Niklas Anttila now for the bogey to drop to 41 under in 3rd place. He has found it. Of course, a slightly deflating finish after such a hard-fought battle. Comes short at the final moment. Aaron, this putt for birdie would give him solo 2nd over Niklas. And that right there, Elias, I believe a $4,000 or $5,000 swing for that single putt and birdie made for Aaron.
Yeah, Aaron's such a solid round as well. I mean, no bogeys with way more birdies than pars on this course. That's what you want to do. That's what you expect. But that's not usually what ends up happening. We're gonna see the final scores here. Our car did extremely well on the round. Aaron Gossage, obviously second, Niklas third. Both Adam Hammes and Pyry Joutsen still up there in the top 10. Honestly, a legendary finish for most disc golfers on the planet.
And a legendary round of coverage and a historic tournament. You are seeing history in the making here on MDG Media. We appreciate every single one of you. Shout out to Elias and Linus Farnami, Dominic Davidson, and to all of the fans at home there supporting us, joining the YouTube membership. You are what keeps European disc golf coverage alive, and we do this every week in and out to bring you disc golf in the making.
Thank you guys so much for watching. And while this was an epic weekend, the coverage will continue next week. See you next week for the Turku Open.